Tantor Audio, a division of Recorded Books, presents All the While by Gina Azzi. Narrated by Stephanie Wyles and Chris Chambers. August 1. Mora. I wasn't always promiscuous. In fact, I never slept around until my twin, Adrian, disappeared from my life. Before that, I cared too much about upholding the values our parents raised us with to ever have a slew of one-night stands. But when he stopped playing by the rules, I figured, why shouldn't I? And that's how it started. The drinking, the sex, the painful loneliness that eats pieces of my heart and gnaws at my soul. Even when I'm surrounded by my rowing team or hanging with my best friends, Emma, Lila, and Mia, I'm so alone it hurts to breathe in too deep. Like if I do, I'll shatter the facade I'm trying so hard to keep up. So I drink. Wine, vodka, tequila. Anything to numb my body from absorbing the shock of Adrian's loss. Anything to numb my mind from processing that he's gone, from addressing the anger I'm harboring over his death. Because the truth is, I'm furious at my twin for leaving me behind. But how can you stay angry at a dead person when the rest of his world placed him on a pedestal? My mom can't mention his name without tears welling in the corners of her eyes. My dad prefers to pretend that everything is fine. And so I'm utterly alone. Alone in my thoughts, alone in my grief, and definitely alone in my anger, which, some days, threatens to consume me. To embrace the numbing detachment I've come to rely on, I need to drink. I need to inhale the calming sweetness of Marlboro menthol golds like no athlete before me ever has. I need to have lots of deliciously mind-numbing sex with random men. In the mornings that follow, I wash their scent off of my skin and pretend the night before never happened. And if I'm really lucky, I can hardly remember the night at all. The only thing I don't touch, never have, never will, is drugs. Because as much as I miss my brother, I'm furious with him for taking his own life. Sure, he didn't intend to at the time. But isn't an overdose just as selfish as suicide? I keep my head down and my grades up. I attend rowing practices on time, dig into each and every catch, my hair tucked into one of Adrian's old baseball caps, my sunglasses hiding the void in my eyes. And even though everyone knows something is wrong, something is off, no one can figure out what it is. Until Zack, Adrian's best friend, intervenes. I just don't know it yet. Are you awake? Mia's whisper cuts through the silence of her childhood bedroom. She's sitting up, her elbow propped against the pillows resting in front of her headboard. Who? Lila asks sleepily. Any of you? Mia whispers. Why are you whispering? We're all obviously awake. Emma's voice booms. She sits up in bed next to Mia. I can just make out her shadowy silhouette from my spot on the air mattress at the foot of the bed. Right, Mora? I am now, I answer. Do you think it's a good idea? Mia asks. What? Lila sits up next to me. The mattress dips dangerously low on my side as she shifts her weight. She runs her fingers through her golden waves lazily. Is what a good idea? Going to Rome? Mia's voice is still a whisper. Yes! We all exclaim in unison. Lila flops back down next to me and the air mattress lurches under my shoulder blades. It's going to be great, Mia. You'll see, Emma says reassuringly. This semester, it's going to be epic. We're all going on such exciting adventures. Her voice is alive with the anticipation of the future, of the unknown. An awkward silence settles as my best friends acknowledge that I'm not going on an adventure. I'm not going anywhere. And you're going to win Dad Vale this year, Emma tries, overcompensating with her enthusiasm. Yeah, it will be great. Seriously, Mora. Lila picks up where Emma leaves off. The pact, it's about pushing past our comfort zones, erasing some of those boundaries that have been restricting us. It's about having fun and letting go for one semester. You can do that from anywhere. Her voice holds a note of a challenge that irritates me. Stupid college pact. We all agreed earlier today, while eating pizza and drinking sangria at one of Mia's favorite New York restaurants, that we would live it up this semester. Be wild, be courageous, be brave, try new things, blah, blah, blah. And it makes sense. It really does. If you're Mia, Emma, or Lila. They're going on real adventures, leaving McShane University behind. They're starting new chapters with new people in new places. Tomorrow morning, Mia flies to Rome, Italy to study abroad. Emma is heading to Washington, D.C. for an internship on Capitol Hill. And Lila, who keeps joking about the killer tan she's going to sport and the hot guy she's going to meet, is participating in a medical internship through Astor University in California. They're all going on adventures, already pushing past their comfort zones, moving the invisible lines that demarcate their self-imposed boundaries. But I'm not. Nope, not me. I'm heading back to our campus at McShane University, still in Philadelphia, back to rowing. I'm not being wild or courageous or brave. Unless you count hitting up my old neighborhood to slum it with some of the guys, like Hector, who I know still kick it there. Sighing heavily, I turn so Lila won't detect the tears brimming in my eyes. I'm going to be lost without these girls. Even at my worst, things seem manageable when they're around to keep me in check. But now, with all of them gone and wrapped up in the excitement of their new lives, I really will be on my own. Completely alone. Sure, I say into the silence, trying to sound confident. No one buys it. Mia turns on her reading lamp and the light bathes half her face in a warm glow. Trust me, Mora, if I can get on a plane to Rome tomorrow morning, you can have an incredible semester and an even better start to the season. I know. Because this is what I always wanted, isn't it? This year, this season, is the culmination of everything I've worked for. Endless hours of practice in the freezing rain, summer camps, two-a-days, torn hands coated with blisters the size of grapes, stress fractures layering my ribs. All of it was for this season, so McShane University's women's rowing would be the best, #1 team in the United States. It's what we always dreamed about, Adrian and me. He rowed for Lafarge University, also in Philadelphia. Being near him is one of the reasons I chose to attend McShane. That, and the full-ride scholarship. Still, being close to Adrian was an important determining factor. I mean, we're twins. We've practically been joined at the hip since before we were born. It's funny, really. People always think twins have some sort of special connection or bond. I never thought about it before or gave the idea much merit. Except now that he's gone, it's as if half of me is missing. We spent our whole lives growing together, and I don't want to move forward on my own. Alone. Now that he's gone, I don't know how to keep holding on to half a dream. Moments of silence tick by, and I hear Emma's soft snore. Lila snorts next to me, and Mia chuckles. Keeping my eyes closed, I feign sleep as they continue to talk about their semesters in new places. Listening to their chatter, nerves spike in my bloodstream. When did we grow into adults? When did everything change? And why am I always being left behind?
2. Zack. I'm unsettled. In fact, as the wheels of the plane touch down at Philadelphia International Airport, I feel like a freshman, a novice, all over again. For 3 years, Adrian Rodriguez was my best friend, my roommate, and sat in front of me, the 6th seat in our varsity 8. In May, I fucking killed him. Not by putting a gun to his head and pulling the trigger or running him over with my car. No. What I did was much worse. I missed the signs. I overlooked his mood swings and made excuses for his lying. I let him drift farther and farther away from me that by the time I called him out on his drug habit, I barely recognized the guy standing in front of me. What type of best friend, roommate, teammate does that? Now I'm back for my senior year, and I'm dreading it. None of it, not the academics, or the future plan to score a sick job in New York City, or my final rowing season makes any sense without Adrian. Each morning brings a fresh wave of guilt, so overwhelming. I wonder when I'll finally drown in it. I pray to drown in it. Exiting the airport, I hail a cab to campus. The city air feels nothing like a homecoming. The usual excitement that zings with the start of the school year is gone. The thought of catching up with my rowing team after summer break feels obligatory. Too much of an emotional vortex for one day. Rowing is no longer an outlet, but a curse. And as much as a part of me wants to quit, I can't. Because I have unfinished business with the sport, and with Adrian. I need our boat to win the Dad Vale Regatta. For him. Stepping into my house, a torrent of memories assaults me. Adrian tossing an Xbox controller at Darko's head. The guys all eating pizza, cracking up at Adrian's impersonations. Adrian swearing at the television during a soccer match. Adrian. Shaking my head, I carry my bag up to my room, close my bedroom door, and drop my forehead against the wall, steadying my breath and squashing the swell of emotion that clogs my chest. I share the house with 3 other guys from the crew team. It used to be 5 of us. Now we're 4. Damian Darko, Jeremy Hunt, James Bilson, and me. No one mentioned getting a new house for senior year, so we all just kept this one, closing Adrian's room off as if it doesn't even exist. And in a way, it doesn't. Not without him to breathe life into it. How the hell am I supposed to do this? Live here? Row? Graduate? The house is quiet as I pull out my laptop and collapse onto my bed. The rest of the guys will be arriving sometime today since we start practice tomorrow morning. The only silver lining in keeping this house from last year is that none of us need to unpack and set up the space again. We all left it exactly the way it was on the last day we were all here. Dad Vale Regatta. Settling back against my pillows, I sign into my laptop, ignore the messages from my sister Nicole, click out of the emails regarding pre-class assignments, and log into Facebook. My breath catches in my throat, a stab in my chest, because the first photo on my feed is Mora. Mora Rodriguez, Adrian's twin sister. Staring at her face in the photo hurts. She looks so similar to Adrian. The shape of their eyes, the determination glaring from them is exact. She's smiling in a photo with her 3 best friends, and while her friends' faces glow, there's something sinister about Mora's smirk. Glancing at the caption posted by Emma Stanton, my jaw tightens until it aches. Caption: On to new adventures, new beginnings, and an epic start to senior year. #college pact. Except Mora doesn't look excited for her fresh start. She looks devastated. She's grieving. Hell, we all are. But the pain bleeding from her midnight eyes alludes to something darker than sorrow, deeper than mourning. A ball of shame burns in my stomach because I did this. I put that look in Mora's eyes, broke her fucking heart, and turned the feisty, sharp Mora into a dark and damaged shadow. Exhaling, I pick up my phone and scroll through my contacts, my thumb hovering over her name. I haven't seen her since Adrian's funeral in May. Throughout the overbearing summer days working as a ranch hand on my uncle's farm, I thought of her often, even texting her a handful of times. She never responded. Maybe she knows? No, no one knows the truth. Although Mora and I spent a lot of time together, our friendship only existed through Adrian. In ways, losing him also meant losing her. She was a constant fixture in our dorm room and at this house last year. She rowed at the same regattas as us and always cheered for our boat. We've crossed paths at the same parties, been to a few group dinners together, and I've slept at her family home more times than I can count, bumping into her on my way to the coffee pot in the morning. Seeing her face in this photo, the angry slash of her eyebrows and twist of her mouth, claws at something in my chest and eats at my stomach like acid. I wish I could reach out and wrap her in my arms, squeeze her until all the desperation and sadness and anger leak out. She'd probably swing at me for showing her concern, for even caring. Chuckling, I close my laptop. Mora is a lot like her brother, tough and scrappy. Massaging the space between my eyebrows, I look around my room. The silence expands. Too many thoughts I don't want to consider sift through my mind. Adrian, Adrian, Adrian. Screw this. Jumping up, I tug on some running shorts, grab my headphones and SUV keys, and flee the space that once felt like home.
3. Mora. Sweat drips down the center of my back, causing my tank top to stick to my skin. Black curls escape Adrian's old baseball cap, blowing behind me as I pick up my pace. 3 miles into my run, my legs ache, my lower back throbs, and my lungs scream for relief. As much as my body cries for me to stop, I ignore its warning signs and push on. In a totally masochistic way, I remind myself that the ache is good. It's a reminder that I'm in training, working towards something, still alive. To distract myself, I take in the familiar sights along Boathouse Row. I've spent countless hours here over the past 3 years. The trees are a summery green, the river full of shells and skulls. Runners, bikers, and inline skaters pass by in shocks of energy, their workout gear colorful and bright. At the 4.5-mile marker, my shoelace unties, a hot pink lace flopping back and forth over my shoe with each step. Rolling my eyes at myself for not double knotting my laces, I veer off the trail so I can stop to retie my shoe. As I slow to a jog, I step on the shoelace and lunge forward, throwing my arms up to break my fall. Mere inches from hitting the ground, an arm shoots out and wraps around my waist, halting my face plant. Oof! I slam into a wall of muscle. Breathing heavily, I lean forward, bracing my hands on my knees as the adrenaline of my near fall subsides. The strong arm lets go and I immediately miss its hold. The twist of fingers in my tank top, the graze of a large palm along my hip. A shock of awareness shot through my body at his touch, and even though I don't know him, my body craves the connection. Glancing up through a sweaty mass of curls, I croak, "Thanks for the save." His back is to me as he walks a few steps ahead, his hands on his hips as he catches his breath. Maybe he was doing sprints? He's tall and lean, with dirty blonde tousled hair. A pool of sweat darkens the red of his t-shirt, spreading out across broad shoulders and tapering along his waist. He nods at my thanks and turns around. And my heart jumps into my throat. "Zack?" My tone is more accusatory than grateful, and I wince as shock blooms in his expression.
"Mora, what are you doing here?"
I gesture toward my workout clothes. Drinking in his tanned skin, full lips, and cerulean eyes, a spike of awareness travels through my veins, warming my blood. His jawline is carved from stone, his shoulders pulling the material of his t-shirt across his chest. When the hell did Huntington become hot?
"How are you doing, Mora?"
My heart gallops in my chest again, and I work a swallow, certain the buzz thrumming in my veins is from his proximity and not my almost fall. And it pisses me off, because it's just Zack. "Fine. Training starts tomorrow."
"Same. I just got back today."
He bends to retrieve the Toronto Blue Jays hat from the ground, a stricken look crossing his face as he turns the hat over in his hands, his thumb swiping across the worn stitching.
"Here you go."
"Thanks." Our fingers brush and a surge of warmth, a moment of comfort passes between us before I break the connection. Placing the cap between my knees, I retie my ponytail and try to act unaffected by the sight of him. It's just Zack, Adrian's best friend. Hell, he was Adrian's shadow for his entire college career. And yet, here he stands, full of life, while my brother is gone. "How was your summer?" I bite out.
"Long. I worked as a ranch hand at my uncle's farm."
"Nebraska?" He nods. "Tough life, then. All work and no play?" My tone is condescending. My words harsh and unfair, but I don't care. Because Adrian is dead and Zack is here. He's acting normal, like we're old friends having a chat. When the truth is, we barely spoke outside of my brother's presence. His gaze hardens, his Adam's apple bobbing in his throat.
"My summer fucking sucked. You?"
I wince at his tone, shuffling back a step. Sometimes I really am a bitch. But hey, at least I own it, right? Same. I pull the cap back on, tugging the brim lower so I can study Zack underneath its protection. He looks bigger, older, more mature than I remember. But then again, I never bothered to pay much attention to him. He was always Adrian's best friend, the brother he never had. But now, the way his shoulders stretch the material of his sweaty t-shirt, his biceps bunching as he clenches his fists, his blue eyes narrowed in on me, I realize that Zack Huntington is really fucking hot. Sure, I've always known he was a good-looking guy, but the Zack standing before me now, all grown up and watching me, suddenly feels overwhelming, like he's stripping me bare. And more than just my clothes.
"I messaged you."
I know. I forced myself to meet his gaze. I was busy.
"I just wanted to, see how you're doing."
His voice softens, a tenderness I don't want to accept wrapping around his words, flickering in his eyes. "I'm fine."
"Mora."
"I'm fine, Zack. I don't need another brother looking out for me. Already had one of those and it didn't pan out that great." Zack jerks back before hardening his gaze, an arctic blast blazing from his eyes. Instead of retreating, he steps closer. Panic floods my chest as I read the genuine concern mixed with curiosity in his eyes, an understanding I don't like in the softness of his lips. What the hell? Yeah, listen, I gotta finish this run. Take care, Zack. I raise my hand in an awkward half-wave before turning on my heel and jogging down the trail.
Mora, wait!
Ignoring him, I run faster. It takes me a quarter of a mile to realize I never tied my shoe.
4. Zack. Mora's back recedes as she runs down the trail, her tiny blue shorts fluttering in the breeze, Adrian's lucky baseball hat on her head, a pink shoelace trailing her steps. Everything about her is a contradiction, one that pisses me off and draws me closer at the same damn time. She's different than I remember, older somehow with Adrian's loss hanging around her like a shroud. Her gestures are quick, her lips twisted in sarcasm, her dark eyes bleeding pain. And running into her so unexpectedly after seeing her Facebook photo shocks my system. I did this to her. I turned a beautiful, smiling, sweet girl into the dark, edgy, damaged Mora who took off running the instant she realized I cared. Calling it a day, I jog back in the direction of the boathouse. It takes me longer to reach my car than it should. I'm lagging, but I couldn't care less. The sadness in Mora's eyes winded me more than sprints ever could. Reaching my Land Rover, I unlock the door and slide into the driver's seat, picking up a warm bottle of water from the center console and drinking it anyway. Placing the key in the ignition, I'm about to start the engine when a flash of blue running shorts stops me. She's 3 parking spots down, leaning against a white Range Rover, her back pressed against the door, one sneaker propped on the running board behind her. The Blue Jays hat is gone. Her hair is down now, a sheet of wild black curls. Her body is tight, long, lean legs, a slender waist, hips I'd like to sink my fingertips into and grip. Mora's always had wicked curves, but now she's got an attitude to match. Her skin glistens in the sunlight, her eyes too dark and too far away for me to read. Nonetheless, an edge wraps around her like an aura, drawing attention like a warning sign. Proceed with caution. A guy steps to her, tall, beefy, and loud. The left side of his neck is inked, tattoos disappearing under his white wife-beater. Stepping closer, he squeezes her hips, sliding his palms up to her tiny waist. A growl rips from my chest as anger boils my blood. Who the hell is this guy? Mora laughs loudly, too loudly. Even through my windshield, I notice her discomfort. Her body is wound too tight, her neck stiff, her shoulders bunched. The guy turns, 2 teardrop tattoos under his left eye jumping out from his skin. What the fuck, Mora? Even I, Zachary Huntington from nowhere, Nebraska, know that teardrop tattoos represent a murder committed, time in prison, or the loss of a loved one. And judging by this guy's build, stature, and tough guy attitude, I'm ruling out option 3. Jerking the handle of my SUV, I step onto the asphalt. Mora notices me immediately, her eyes widening as panic crosses her face. What the hell has she gotten herself into? Why is she even talking to this clown? Come on, Rodriguez. Adrian would want so much more for you. The guy notices her reaction because he begins to turn toward me, when Mora reaches out, running her hands up his arms and locking her fingers behind his meaty neck. She pouts adorably, and I clench my hand into a fist as desire floods through me.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?